So that does make sense.
Do you feel like Cynthia threw you under the bus and is Team Brit?
I'm not going to talk about Cynthia.
Welcome back to the channel, y'all. It is the TV therapist, and I am here to give my 2 cents on the new Kenya Moore confessionals. But I want to discuss the question that she was asked about Cynthia and her response. So in the question and answer segment, there was a question from a tweet, I believe. Do you feel like Cynthia threw you under the bus and is Team Twit is Team Brit? And Kenya said, I'm not going to talk about Cynthia. And I want to say why that is a demonstration of a true friend. And Cynthia's media tour, that is a demonstration of a colleague and not a true friend. Let's get into it. So when that episode aired, honey, I didn't even watch the episode. I just listened to other YouTubers like Color Me Pink and Rodney the Voice. I listened to their perspective on what happened, and sure enough, Kenya already admitted it was an unfortunate situation. She shouldn't have done that at her grand opening. But the thing that disturbed me the most was how the women left the event. I can understand them being not in agreement. They didn't, support what she was doing. But Cynthia, I felt like, was really a true friend to Kenya outside of the show. And if that was my friend, I would have been like, ooh, girl, high five, but no, girl. But I would have stayed. I would have stayed there to make sure my friend was good after seeing everyone kind of leaving and, showing their disapproval. I just felt like she was left there alone. And then afterwards, it's okay for Cynthia to say, girl, I don't agree. I disapprove, but I'm going to talk to you later. I'm going to be out. If that's how you feel, great. But the thing that Cynthia did that I did not like was that she went on a media tour. Watch What Happens Live. She was on Carlos King talking about, I did not approve of what Kenya did, but she's my friend. I love her to death, but I just had to let her know that was not cool. I was disgusted. Okay, girl, we know how you felt. You said it on the air, but why do you have to go on the media tour? One, to keep talking about how your friend messed up and how it was so disgusting. Like, you are perpetuating and continuing the narrative versus just, okay, if you do want to go on the media tour, go on the media tour to take advantage of, what? I'm here to talk about myself. You guys saw what I said on the episode. I'm working, me and Kenya working on our relationship in the background. I still, support her. I'm still there for her, regardless, what she did. She was doing that in defense of herself, but I'm not going to talk about that and keep it moving. Like, she was on Carlos King with, I think her name is Crystal from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, I don't know why they was on there. I was listening to it, but not listening to it. But I felt like they talked the whole time about what happened with Kenya. Then eventually I heard them starting to talk about their relationship and how they kind of met outside of the franchise and how they have a podcast. Cynthia, you should have been on there big upping your podcast with Crystal versus talking about how you are as a friend and how you try to support people as a friend. Like, I didn't necessarily really agree with Cynthia being a flip-flopper, but she is a flip-flopper. I think Cynthia is a person, I'm going to take it back. I'm not going to call that lady a flip-flopper because she is not my friend. But from what I've seen, I think with Cynthia's personality, she is someone that goes with the flow. She doesn't typically go against the grain because she already said it. She does not like conflict. So people who don't like conflict typically give into groupthink, like how all the other ladies were leaving. Oh, well, if everybody else leaving, this doesn't look good. I want to keep you know, I want to keep my, what do you call it, reputation or how I look. I want to look good in this situation. So I'm going to leave with the other ladies. I'm not going to stand here and be in support of Kenya. If you would have stayed, that would have not said I support the actions of my friend, but I would have stayed to say I support my friend in the good and the bad. Like, girl, I don't get low key. I'm like, get it, girl, but not at your grand. And I wouldn't even care because that really wasn't Kenya's grand. Kenya has had 15 million grand openings. This is just one that they have decided to show on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, true enough, maybe she shouldn't have done it in that space. And when she was talking about dedicating, you know, this to her daughter, Brooklyn. I mean, it is a conflict to talk about, you know, your dedication and then do this. But at the end of the day, girl, you are my friend. You were doing this in defense of yourself. Some hood rat chick from the A was threatening you because you just asked her about her ring and she wants to have pistols and whips. And girl, why do you have whips in your bag? Like, what we doing? Girl, we free. This is not slavery, honey. I don't know what's up with Britt Edie, but going back to what I wanted to talk about is friendship. How do you stay and support your friend regardless if it's good or bad? And I would say with Cynthia, she gave into groupthink. What she did with all the other ladies were doing. It kind of made sense, like Kelly. Oh, Kelly was cool with Britt Edie, so I'm leaving. Portia, I don't know why she was leaving because she has done a lot of low down, trashy things on TV. One, girl, you stole the lady man and her can say. Okay? The Bolo episode, you was talking about how somebody was going to perform a sexual act on you, honey. So, you know, this is right up your alley. So, you're the one that would kind of got a thrill out of the whole lie that that Phaedra said, oh, Candy and Todd are going to take you back to drug you and take you back to their, you know, sex dungeon. When you was telling Candy that, girl, you was just like laughing. It wasn't like you was like, oh, I can't believe you said that, Candy. You know, I just feel so violated. No, that was, you was over there laughing and, you know, had a little giggle to it because that was the type of culture back then. If you listen to the rap music, right or wrong, you know, Rick Ross was talking about putting something in somebody's drink. And we run around here singing and rapping it until Candy then was like, hold up, pump your brakes. That sounds like date rape. And I don't want to get caught up in that situation. So I just wanted to highlight that I think Cynthia should not have went on a media tour discussing her disgust of Kenya's actions, but then at the same time, like, oh, this is my, you know, friend. I love her. I support her. I mean, it's somewhat of a contradiction because if my friend did something wrong, that's between me and my friend. We're going to have that chit chat. But I'm not going to go around to every media source, every YouTube channel, every blog giving my 2 cents because my 2 cents really does not matter. This situation is not about me. It's about Kenya and Britt Edie. And I'm going to talk about, I support my friend Kenya. I don't support her actions, but I don't want to talk about that because this is a very sensitive topic. And that is something that we are handling in the background. That's how you maintain a in real life friendship versus a reality TV or social media relationship. I think Kenya is learning Cynthia is for the birds. She goes along with groupthink. And that is because she does not like conflict. When you do not like conflict, or you don't know how, I'm going to say this, if you don't have conflict resolution school, ooh, child, honey, hold on. If you do not have conflict resolution skills, you tend to become a people pleaser and kind of give into the group or give into group thinking. And I think that's what happened with Cynthia. But I give all the praises to Team Twirl. I like how Kenya twirled on that question. I said, I'm not going to address Cynthia because this is my platform. What happened between me and Cynthia, that is private. That's a personal relationship, and that is not for the world to know. This is like what IRL in real life. This is, me up here giving my professionals. This is entertainment for you all. But my relationship with Cynthia, that's IRL. That's real life. And those are real emotions. And you could tell that Kenya was really hurt in that moment when she was like, I'm not going to speak on Cynthia. I give her all the kudos. I give her all the praise. Unfortunately, I don't agree with, Cynthia's media tour. I respect her decision of not liking what Kenya did, but I do not respect her going on Watch What Happens Live, the blogs, just, keeping the story going of what happened versus if you're going to ask me, baby, let's go back to the beginning. We're not going to start what happened at Kenya's event. We're going to go back to my good friend felt threatened. And even with her feeling threatened, I had watched my friend be physically assaulted on a television show. So I understand her natural instinct of wanting to defend herself. Now, her choice in defending may not have been right, but she has every right to feel threatened and to take action. And this show is all about reads and drags, honey. And really, those photos were a drag. And especially with Britt Edie running around here giving mixed views and mixed answers about, do I carry a pistol? Yeah, I carry a pistol. You go everywhere I go. Now, I didn't have my pistol in my bag. I don't do, honey, which one is it? You did men's magazines in high school, or I don't support what I did in high school? Because one scene, it sounds like you're bragging, and then the next one is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're shaming me. Honey, she's just showing us what is out there. You want to threaten me with pistols and whips? I'm going to threaten you with your own baggage. Okay? So I can go on all day, but that is my 2 cents. Thank you all for watching it. And, that is my 2 cents. Thank you all for listening. Let me know below, what do you all think? Do you agree with Cynthia's actions of going on a press tour? Do you agree with Cynthia? Do you agree with Kenya not speaking on Cynthia? Or did you really want to hear Kenya's 2 cents on Cynthia's, reaction and behavior lately within the blogs and the media? So let me know what you think below. And until next time, peace.